Here's what happened last time on the Incorrigible Party.
Successfully activating their portal stone, the party watches as flesh golems and toy soldiers flood the deck of a cultist ship, assaulting the forces manning the cannons firing into the island. Not long after, 2 Triton ships arrive and engage the cultist shell subs. The party learns that these are scouts arriving ahead of the Triton fleet. Showing Slava and his Triton companions to the Kraken cave, the party settles in for a much-needed rest to await the arrival of the Triton forces.
And now, back to the adventure.
Who's on first watch for this long rest that it's been ages since you've had one?
Shakara told everybody else to go to sleep. She would take first watch.
On your watch, again, you have the Tritons in their ship. They did agree to keep a post as well. See, the 4 of them or 3 of them are in the cockpit, and Slava himself he seems to kind of be like pacing atop the deck of it, just keeping an eye on the Kraken as it continues to stir in its pentagonal structure, and they just seem to just be constantly watching each other and just keeping this strange, intense eye contact with one another. The manta ray ship kind of bobbing in the waves at the shore of this cave. Could you roll a perception check, please, as your watch continues?
Oh, that would be a big 3.
Good job.
I'm keeping watch.
An hour or so passes. It doesn't seem like any activity other than the Kraken just kind of slowly bobbing in its structures. It doesn't have much room now as its growth, since you've witnessed that it has grown larger. But you hear suddenly a splash from behind the manta ray ship, and this hammerhead shark launches itself out of the water at Slava, its giant head smashing into its body with its jaws, chomping and clamping at him. Immediately from the cockpit, one of the other Tritons, up on his feet with a trident in hand, jabs it into the shark, sloughing it off of Slava back into the water. And Slava, recomposing himself, kind of briefly puts a hand on his companion's shoulder. You see him look over to the tiny hut, which from the outside is opaque, so he can't see any of you. But he does say, it appears that Kralakina's reach extends outside of this structure.
I know if I walk out of the hut, I can walk back in, right?
Yes, you all know that your passage freely through it. Other than Falzern, of course.
I will walk out of the hut and I will... Are you okay?
Yes. It appears the wildlife are under the influence of this monstrosity. And you start to see kind of the waves pick up a little bit around the shore as it's kind of quietly lapping at the bottom of the cave, and more splashes, and Slava moves closer to the cockpit, kind of towards you, right, towards shore. And you can now see in the waves that shark fin above the surface. About 3 or 4 you make out individually, just moving up to the surface, kind of as they descend back down out of sight. It's clearly something stirring within the waters.
Do you think it is safe here for the night?
I believe on land you should be fine. And you know in your readings about the Kraken, Shakara, that is one type of influence it has on the surrounding region around its lair, can charm the aquatic life and turn them to be aggressive towards any potential intruders in its domain.
I'll look at the Kraken. You are growing stronger, aren't you?
You see it kind of slowly turn and regard you with those black pupilless eyes, as it kind of slowly moves the tentacle as it bobs. And you see it open its mouth and kind of move forward. closing its mouth again. And it does that 2 or 3 more times, and the liquid in the structure begins to diminish as it appears to be swallowing what's inside of it. As it does, and it takes in this mixture, it's, even before your eyes, starts to grow. As you see one of its tentacles it has pressed against the side of it start to lengthen very slowly and gradually, but obviously very noticeable.
I'll look at Slava. Did you see that? It's drinking the liquid.
Yes, it appears Mio was correct. This mixture seems to be the cause of the growth. Perhaps emptying it would have been a good move.
So it seems. But it cannot be done now. We all need our rest, or we will be useless.
The Tritons can handle a Kraken at full strength.
That is good to know. Please, call for aid if you need us.
He gives you a quick nod.
I'll go back in the tent.
Okay?
And Mia in her sleep mumbles, "I told you so."
And Shaft will go, "I told you so 18 episodes ago."
Is there anything you'd like to do during your watch? That's kind of maybe taking place about the first hour of your 2-hour watch.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly look over everybody in the tent, make sure they're all sleeping and happy and comfy.
You gonna tuck me in?
Uh-huh. And then walk out of the tent again, but on the opposite side where the Tritons can't see me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to call Sparky to me. Sparky, can you talk with Isabella? Or get her a message?
Sparky kind of flits over to you, right? And your pseudo-dragon cannot speak. And the way it communicates, you have this telepathic bond with it. And a pseudo-dragon in particular is able to express kind of base emotions with you. It's almost like it washes its own feeling over you. Things like, being frightened, or perhaps being hungry, or the very base level feelings and emotions kind of thing. And you speaking to it about Isabella, it doesn't really stir, or it doesn't give you any sign at the mention of her name, or any type of like feeling of understanding what you're trying to communicate to it.
So that would be a no then.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find a way to get a message to her. I need to let her know. She needs to let Falzarin go. And perhaps, if me joining their coven is what it takes, then so be it. Falzarin needs to be free.
Hearing the kind of the strain in your voice, and like almost this martyrdom, it seems, is almost a self-sacrifice. It's incredibly empathetic with you, right? It kind of nestles up against you, and you in return get this wash of comfort, almost, and like agreement.
I'm just going to stay outside the tent for a little bit longer and kind of watch the ocean a little bit and watch the Kraken a little bit and snuggle with Sparky.
Okay. Second watch.
I probably would wake up Mia. Mia, it is your turn.
What?
You were right about the liquid.
I'm always right.
The Kraken is drinking it.
Drinking it? Huh.
And getting bigger and stronger.
Oh, crap. Is he gonna break through that thing?
I do not know, but he has shown some signs of being able to control the sea creatures.
What happened? Why didn't you wake us up?
The Tritons handled it.
Oh, right. Forgot about them. Thought they were just a dream.
All right, I'm going to sleep now.
Yeah, go get some sleep. I'll take watch. I'll get out of the hut and just kind of look around. Kick the dirt.
As your watch begins, through the opening of the cave, a bright ball of light begins to float in. And again, that slow down of time around you occurs. The lapping waves at the mouth of the cave, they stop like almost mid-surge. Your party members, their soft snores maybe. I don't know, some of them maybe have a deviated septum that they have to take care of.
For sure, shaft snores.
They kind of cease around you. And even the curious and watchful stare of the Kraken freezes. And I think I'm going to take just Elena on mic for this one.
This light looks familiar.
The light stops before you. Something different happens this time, though. The light, it expands, it brightens, forming into the silhouette of a woman. As the light, it reaches almost like this crescendo of brightness, and it subsides quickly, leaving a tall, bronze-skinned woman with flowing dark hair down to her waist. She wears this pale violet dress that matches the color of moving tattoos she has reaching up her forearms. They look like sprawling tree roots that appear to be growing towards the core of her body. Around her waist, she wears a black leather belt cinched tight. The symbol of Thor, the hammer, carved into it, much like the saddles on the Pegasi. And she looks at you and she gives you a soft smile. Hello, Mia. I'm glad to see you are well.
Should I know who you are?
Of course.
You know me.
I do. I am Herafina.
Oh, Herafina! Really? Wow. I've never noticed all these details before.
Well, it is only in the most trying of times that I am able to come and visit you in the flesh, so to speak. She kind of, again, she turns back to the frozen Kraken. I see you are doing well, and are still in dire straits, perhaps? Please tell me you are going to dispatch of this monster.
That's the plan. I won't leave this island until we get rid of this Kraken. It's the whole reason I'm here.
That is excellent. Your mission needs to be its destruction. It is Thor's will.
It's Thor's will. Now, Isabella, she gave me some concerning information. I want to not believe it, but she says Kraken is my father?
This Isabella woman doesn't seem to know what she's speaking of.
What do you mean?
Thor has given you gifts. Gifts that were meant to be yours since your birth. Your hammer, your armor, and now the Pegasi.
Yeah.
All to contribute to this moment.
This moment. I mean, I really appreciate his gifts. They've really come in handy. I mean, I've dedicated my life to serving him. It's weird for someone to tell me he's my grandpa, and I mean, I found this book, and I pull out of my bag the
Gods and their machinations.
Macaroni book.
Yeah. She nearly ignores it. She kind of waves a hand dismissively. Please, I do not need to read those scriptures, as very possibly I had a hand in writing them myself. I've known Thor for what seems like an eternity. She chuckles at her own immortal joke.
Ha ha.
Please, you must focus on the task at hand. I do not wish to see you any harm. You must be the one that sees this through. There is another item that I believe you and, she motions to the tiny hut, your party does possess a silver disc. Do you know of what I speak?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't carry or touch the thing. I'm not sure who has it right now.
It is paramount to the destruction of this Kraken.
Oh. How do you know about this? You guys designed this disc?
Before Herafina can give her answer, in your head, like you hear inside of your mind, this and the Kraken begins to move. Despite everything else still being frozen around you, its black eyes, you see they've changed color. They become a shimmering, pupilless topaz.
No. No.
My daughter! How you've grown since I've seen you last. Since you were stolen from me by my father.
Herafina, you told me he wasn't. Mia's fully aware this is Kraken.
Absolutely. I see you've been fed more lies, like I have my entire life. Lies from Thor himself, lies from Thor's right hand. In fact, it is true, you are my daughter.
I'm inclined to believe you. We have the same eyes.
Herafina, you see, like, since she arrived, right, and since you've actually seen her full visage for the first time, she's had this very kind of airy, almost majestic kind of movement about her, kind of, you know, the same with like this light lilt in her speaking patterns, you know, still like forceful but still kind of have this soft undertones. And she's suddenly, it's almost as if like her complexion has even like grown a shade darker almost.
She's freaked out.
Yes, she is clearly very freaked out. It's clear that she is also hearing this voice inside of her head.
Herafina, continue to explain. What do I do with this disc?
You must use it against him.
How?
You must.
I can't even hold it.
You have the strength to do so.
I don't know what you mean. Like throwing it at him? It drains me of my energy.
And that voice again booming. Oh, my child. Herafina doesn't always speak in lies, it seems. Yes, that disc. You need to be the one to use it. You alone have the power, currently, to reunite our family. We were torn apart by Thor. You ripped literally from my arms as a babe and cast aside, kept enclosed for centuries. You, my daughter, are much older than you may think.
Centuries?
I was so delighted to hear of your escape. Tell me, how did you do it, child? Clearly taking after your old man.
I didn't do anything. I was raised in barrack by loving parents. You're not my father. Not at least in the true sense of the word.
I know I have been absent, but not of my own accord. I would never have me and your mother, we never would have abandoned you like that, had Thor not intervened.
Thor is who I worship and who I serve.
Child, you have been brainwashed.
I am not brainwashed. You are misunderstanding where my true power comes from.
The true power you wield is yours and yours alone. Ask Herafina, ask her. Put her under this truth of Thor, and ask her your questions. Ask her what she did with you as a baby, where she put you, and how she kept you.
All I know is she took me away from you, and there must be a reason for that.
All my life, I've only received neglect from my father, from your grandfather. Absent-minded with each and one of his children, dismissive.
So you slept with his wife?
The only support I've ever received in the millennia of which I have been alive is that from Telena. The nurturing bond in which she and I share goes beyond blood.
Why would you confirm that this disc can be used against you? Why confirm that to me right now?
You can use it, yes. You can use it to free me. As this, you see, this is not... As the tentacles kind of move around as it's clear,
right.
like
I look
motioning.
over to Herafina like, what do you mean? I thought you said this disc was to defeat him. You want me to help free him with this disc? Herafina, please tell me I'm wrong.
I do not know of what he speaks. You can use it to weaken him, destroy him. Please, you cannot believe anything he says. He's nothing but lies.
What if I use it thinking I'm going to destroy him and it frees him?
I assure you, please. Trust in me. Trust in Thor. You do not know this thing.
I look over at the Kraken. It's quiet.
Its focus is solely on you. Like, it hasn't even glanced towards Herafina. My child, you and your mother and I, the three of us can be reunited again. My inhabitant of this body, clearly the ritual is not complete. This is not quite as it seems. Though my power is far-reaching, despite being on the plane of water, it does have its limits. You must use the disc. Free me of this structure. Allow me to inhabit this body.
How do I use the disc? What do you want me to do with it?
All you need to do is smash it. Destroy it.
Destroy
Release the power within it. And I can absorb it.
Through the crystal shell.
Through the crystal shell.
Who built this contraption you lie in? Who is responsible for this crystal shell?
Well, I am. In fact, by extension, it would be your grandfather's making. As you, as a babe, were placed in something similar. Kept in stasis. Never to age. As I was imprisoned. I tell you, question Herafina. She has all the details. She herself placed you in that tomb. It is a wonder she let you out.
I'm glad she did. I'm making the world a better place because of it.
I have no doubt that you are, child.
I am not going to destroy that disc.
That's disappointing. I was hoping for a lovely family reunion.
The question is, if you made this shell you're encapsulated in, why even leave it up? Why not take us out now?
Well, clearly, my beloved wife is lacking her own body on this plane. I do not see it anywhere as the Kraken is shifting its giant head. What of it? What has happened? Have you made the world a better place in this regard, too?
How did you even get into the Kraken? It makes no sense. We got rid of Danzig. We got rid of the Matron's vessel.
As I said, I am quite powerful. My reach is far, but tenuous. This is not permanent. Look around you. This whole phenomenon is not the stopping of time. It is a simple perception that Herafina imparts upon you, and now I am intruding upon.
I get it. Where do you think Telena's gonna come? Who did you want her to inhabit?
Well, I was informed there was a very excellent candidate whom Telena met with and spoke with herself many years ago.
Who would that be?
I believe a short little fellow by the name of Danzig.
Well, that's what I said. Danzig's been destroyed. He's dead.
And you had a hand in this?
I mean, yeah. Honestly, yeah. I wanted the little runt dead on the ship.
My child, you act seemingly out of anger. You get that from your grandfather.
So wait, Telena's vessel was Danzig. I read the ceremony, I read the book, I misunderstood. I didn't realize you could make it to this plane. We have Tritons searching for you all over the plane of elemental plane of water.
Yes, and as of now, I've evaded a second capture. I do not wish to harm any of them.
You know the Tritons are here. They're here to stop you.
Oh, yes, I do see some of our friends behind us as he motions to the frozen Slava and the Manta ship.
I'll let Shaft die before you take him for Telena. You can't do this to me. You cannot bring her here. We will be rid of you. I look over at Herafina like, right? Like, reassure me.
And yes, she gives you a nod. That is right. You will be stopped, Talos. Your father, he will not stand for this.
I will take this disc and I will end you with it. I'm not sure how. And I look over at Herafina again. Any hints would be helpful. Like, expression on my face. But it's like, I will finish you myself, like I did Erica, like I did Chucky. I don't even know if I finished Chucky at this point, but I've killed a lot of people in the 5 days I've been on this island. You're next.
The Kraken Talos, the eye is your hammer. I imagine your grip is tightening on your weapon.
My hammer, my shield, it's like, it's just electricity coming from it, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Yeah.
It gives you like an audible tisk, tisk, tisk in your head. I thought things would be different. I thought you'd be more reasonable, but there's too much of Thor, too much of my father inside of you. His influence has clearly rotted you to your core. I do hope that one day you will come to understand, my daughter. My only child.
Don't call me that. Don't even.
You cannot deny your heritage. I ask you, I have come to speak to you. Herafina has come to speak to you, but where is Thor? Where is your grandfather?
Thor has blessed me in many ways. He's got other things to worry about. He is looking for you, I'm sure.
I sincerely doubt that.
Ah, so you think his apathy extends to now? He has no cares for me, and for what my friends and I might encounter here tonight.
Do you know when I killed my brother and sister, your aunt and uncle, their worship for Thor ran even deeper than yours. When Thor learned of this, he was not angry at that. The look on his face, I wish I could show it to you now. The look.
Let me guess, it's what all parents say. He was just disappointed.
Oh, no, I would say he was, like you, to use your word, apathetic. It was only until he realized that I was stealing his prized wife from him. The injury to his ego, it wasn't even Telena herself. It was simply the image of this god that enraged him. The ego on your grandfather. He cares not for his children. He cares not for you.
I've seen otherwise. I look over at Herafina and give her a nod.
You see her, she's kind of lowered her hands to her hips now, getting a little more defiant with you. Talos, I assure you, Thor was crushed over the heinous acts that you committed. He has shown favor for Mia, his granddaughter. He will continue to do so. He will look after her. He will treat her as his own daughter. In the stead, in the whole that you have taken, you have murdered, you have slain, rid this world of two incredibly noble and kind celestial souls. You will pay for what you've done. Again, Talos, in your head, that laugh. Herafina, you are delusional as it seems as my daughter. And why don't you roll an insight check?
Alright. Oh man, this roleplay is so fun. 25.
You can hear the sincerity in his voice when he, almost this languish in those last words as he's saying, even my own flesh and blood. It's very clear, you're making it incredibly clear to him that you want nothing to do with this quote-unquote family he is offering you.
I mean, Just met the guy. Come on.
Miss, I will kill you, Dad.
Well, I mean, whatever it takes, I can't. He's not good.
You see the Kraken's body, it kind of starts to shudder. And the eyes, like the topaz eyes, they begin to almost like flash and blink from topaz to black. Topaz to black.
Yeah.
My child, I'm out of time. I am disappointed, but you can kill this body. It will not be killing me. I assure you, I'm not giving up on you like my father gave up on me. We will speak again. I will see you again, hopefully in the flesh next time.
So you're not inhabiting this body. You're not this Kraken.
As I said, tenuous connections. The ritual's not complete. You can complete it. And the eyes completely fade to black, and the Kraken's motions immediately freeze again under this effects that Herafina is radiating out from her. And you see almost like this relief, sigh of relief as her chest heaves.
Yeah.
Mia, you've made the right choice.
I really hope so. I mean, if my whole life was built up to one moment, this would be the moment. This would be the moment to choose good over evil, and Thor over Kraken, and it's not about blood. It's who I was raised to be by my mother and father back in Barrack, and I just so this disc, I will get it. If I touch it, it will drain me. I can't touch it. What? Can someone else use it? You said I'm the only one that can use it. Even he said I was the only one that could use it.
You and you alone must wield it, as only you can activate it. Strike him with it.
Strike him with it? That activates it?
Touch it to him at the same time as you are contacting it. I only know what Thor has imparted upon me. It will aid you.
Okay, so I smack him upside the head with it, but that's still not Kraken. It's just a Kraken. I mean, an evil Kraken that he could take over at any point in time, I guess, so still gotta be done with him.
The power you wield, the power of Thor, it is lightning based, as this Kraken wields. This disc should allow you to wound it with its own power.
Okay. I trust your advice, and I didn't really want to fight in close quarters, but we're gonna have to do it. I see that now. This will be worth it. Oh, I hope Thor is paying attention, because I am choosing him. And if you could just tell him that, I mean, there's a lot going on.
She walks over to you and she places a hand on your cheek. Of course, he watches you and he looks after you like he looks after me. I will pass him your message, your regards. You can do this. Like your faith in Thor, I have faith in you. And as her words, as she finished speaking, the form turns back into this bright light, shifting and morphing into this ball as it lifts up and out of the cave, sending time back to moving properly.
Ooh. All right, well, I will just keep a very close eye on the Kraken for any topaz eyes on my watch.
Very nice. Well done. Mia, the rest of your watch passes uneventfully. You witness similar things that Shakara did, the Kraken seemingly taking gulps of this fluid inside of the structure as it seems to slowly and incrementally be growing larger and larger. Who would you like to wake up for the third shift?
Think I would like to wake up Shaft. And
Go away.
hey, it's your turn for watch, Shaft.
Did anything happen?
I learned some things. Herafina came to visit me. Do you remember in Erica's tent, we we picked up that metal disc and it kind of like, zapped some power out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have that?
Yeah.
Can I take a look at it before I lay down to rest for a minute?
Didn't work out too well last time. You sure you want to touch it?
No, not really, but I know I need this disc. It's hard to
take
explain.
it out, and I'm sort of looking at her and go, what does it do?
It's gonna help us defeat this Kraken.
Wow.
Yeah, remember?
How?
Well, depends on which side of the story you're on. But the side that I'm choosing to be on is it can help me drain the Kraken of its lightning. It can help me drain it of its power if I use it against the Kraken. So
Cool. Will it get me back to the mainland faster if I give it to you?
yeah, can I have it?
Here you go.
Okay.
Yep.
And I grab it from him reluctantly a little bit.
I push it on her quickly.
As you touch it, the same thing that happened before. This kind of, you feel this energy surge through you, like down your arm and into this disc as sparks kind of start to fly, and you're drained 5 hit points. Do you continue to hold it?
No.
You want to stow it? You just want to stow it in your bag?
I want to put it in my bag, but I want to see if it continues to drain me before I go to sleep with it in my bag.
Okay, well, as soon as you put it in your bag and are no longer making contact with it, that feeling of that draining feeling immediately subsides.
Okay, so even through gloves, though, it didn't, you're saying my bare skin touched it?
Well, I guess if you have gauntlets, still, even through the gauntlets, like through your armor.
Okay, it's in my bag. I will take away 5 hit points. Thanks, Shaft. I really do think this thing sucks energy. I can feel it.
All right. Sounds good to me. Anything else happen?
No, just wake me up if you need me.
Did the Kraken thing do anything?
No.
As you two are conversing, you see Dreg kind of stirs, and he kind of wakes up and opens his eyes. Oh, I suppose I could help whoever is on watch?
Sure, it's my turn. Tell you what, you take a look here, and I'm just going to stick right here. I'll lean back a little bit, and I'll keep watch from inside the hut if you want to go walk around it.
Oh, no, I think I'm quite all right here. You see, almost immediately once he's woken up, he started to fiddle and twist this magic ring on his finger. You know, the one that opens the portal, very nervously. He's gotten quite a bit of sleep at this point, but he still looks like a wreck. He's got dark bags under his eyes, as he was contending with 2 levels of exhaustion, soon to be only 1. But he will stay up with you and do his part and help out in the party.
Okay, I'm just going to lean back and just, from inside the hut, look around and see what's happening.
Yeah, and the 2 of you, again, you witness more of the Kraken's growing process, right, as it consumes some of the liquid inside. And it always seems to expand enough where there's no air pocket at the top of it, right, like there was when you had released a bunch of it. It always seems like there's this strange equilibrium between the level of fluid and the growth of the Kraken submerged within it. And Dreg is just constantly fiddling that ring, eyes just fixed on the structure, seeming to be deep in thought.
So what do you think, Dreg?
I think killing this thing will be challenging.
Yeah. But you think you can get in there? Think we can get the thing down? I mean, until we can get in, it's pretty safe in there.
It appears to be rapidly growing. What happens when it gets too large for the structure?
Well, that's a pretty secure structure. It's based on your knowledge, right? It's not like you can just pop out of there.
This is true. You mentioned that this thing must have a power source. What if the fluid is the power source?
Well, that's some thinking right there. I didn't take that into consideration. Well, then it's just a matter of time, and then out he comes, right?
I suppose so, and we must be here to meet it.
Well, you mentioned something about banishing that thing earlier. Can you do that?
I certainly can attempt to, but like I said before, it would banish to the plane of water, straight into Kralakina's hands, potentially.
Can you banish it somewhere else?
I'm afraid I cannot control that. I will tell you, if it comes down to our lives, or it remaining on the material plane, you can be assured I will not sacrifice ourselves and keep this thing here. If necessary, I will banish this monster.
Well, you got my vote. If you see it, grab me. But why don't you go ahead and do that banish thing?
I will certainly look out for you, my friend. I will look out for you all.
Yeah, I got your back, buddy.
As your watch continues, suddenly the entire cave is washed in this blinding white light, clearly originating from far outside of the cave. You hear a cacophonous boom, far louder than any of the thunderclaps from the storm, and it wakes up all of you that are asleep. Seconds later, this 10-foot wave from the ocean rolls into the cave. The Triton ship is flung towards the Kraken structure before one of the Triton pilots is able to wrestle control against the water. And with this wave rushes in a wall of wind that buffets against the tiny hut, and the water momentarily filling the entire chamber, kind of pooling around the hut as it cannot breach it. The effects of Falzarin's spell keeping you all dry and protected from the wind and water before it, recedes back into the sea. Dreg, as ashen face as he looked, somehow gets paler as he's almost nearly he's kind of sputtering. No, I didn't think he could actually do it. No, this can't be it. And he's just fiddling, like increasingly feverishly with his spinning the ring on his finger, having developed this nervous tick.
What, Drake? What the hell was that?
Yeah, what's going on here? What? Do you recognize this?
Alstoff did it.
He made the
and
weapon.
I'll put my hand on Drag's hand to make him stop fiddling.
He'll kind of clasp yours as he's kind of shaking. He did it. He actually did it. I told him, no, everything I thought it was simply theory. I didn't think he could actually weaponize the anchors. I don't know what this means for Heraklion. If that woman has control of it.
For now, it means Heraklion is safe. There will be no more cultist attacks.
He his eyes flit back over between you and the Kraken. I don't know how truly safe we are.
That will be taken care of.
Yeah, about that. This Kraken shell, remember how we didn't know who created it? Kralakina made it.
What?
Kralakina.
How?
Yeah.
How do
How
you
do
know
you
that?
know this?
How do I? Mia's just like, where do I begin? What do I even, So Kralakina's a god, and has, because he's Talos Kralakina, dad, whatever. And he spoke to me, and I don't know, he can just take over the body of the Kraken whenever he wants. He did it, and he talked to me, and he tried to get me to come on his side, and he created the shell. So I think his plan is to gulp down the rest of this phlogiston, and when he's strong enough,
I thought it took some kind of ritual.
The ritual...
Did Danzig die for nothing?
Danzig was the matron's vessel. Danzig was to be Telena. Telena was going to come to this plane as Danzig's body. His wife, his mom, one and the same, my mom.
So the matron's vessel is not needed to raise Kralakina.
Yeah, so Danzig was Telena's vessel, the Kraken is Talos's vessel, and he can come in and out of this plane whenever he wants, but not permanently. He was just flinging sharks into our cave. He has a pretty freaking big reach.
So that was Kraken that did that, not just the Kraken.
I think so, yeah. And I mean, the Kraken is intelligent in his own right and needs to be destroyed because he is Talos' vessel. We need to kill him, and this disc, and I point down at my satchel, is how I'm going to do it. This is apparently the reason I'm here.
You are going to kill the Kraken all by yourself?
I mean, I would hope to have some help.
Well, I look out at the Kraken. Does it look like it's still gulping that stuff?
Yes.
Dragon, I think when that thing gets done sucking all that juice up, down goes the tank.
I would be inclined to agree with you. I don't know if we want to risk draining it. Could drain it of some power.
No, I mean, I think we got a timer here.
Yeah, well, could we not stop it from getting to full strength?
I look over at Drag and go, you want to suck some more juice out of there?
He's still clasping Shakara's hands in his. If we can at least stop its growth in power. I mean, the larger it gets, surely the stronger it gets. Even if it releases it, if that's what we're to do anyways, we can't let it continue to grow.
Can you control the size of the holes you make? Could you not make small holes so it drains?
I told you, no, I've only designed it to make a 5-foot circle so we climb through. I mean, like we tried before, enough to drain, but...
Now, Dreg, as I understand it, you need to continue to hold the ring at the shield, at this barrier, in order for the hole to remain there. Is that right?
No, I simply need to be there to open it. If we can back away fast enough.
What if he could fly away on a Pegasus? They're fast.
They are quite majestic.
But the hole
yes.
needs to be kind of at the bottom.
I could put a rope around your waist and yank you.
I mean, I would help you do that as well.
Yeah, myself or Falzer knows how to do it. I'm sorry, my friend.
That is true.
I'm sorry, my friend. My nerves, they're getting the best of me.
I mean, Falzer, he does look quite exhausted.
Dreg, if you...
No, please. I can't not subject you to this. This is my creation.
Whoever opens the hole will not be by themselves. I will stand there with you.
Yes, and Dreg, if you feel you can't do it, I can do it.
And Shakara, in your his hands on his grip on yours, you feel it kind of tighten, like reassuringly. And he looks to each and one of you. With all of you, I can do this.
I think it's something we need to do. We need to stop it from getting to full strength.
I think this is the best plan that we have available to us right now. We can't just sit here and let it grow larger and stronger.
I take out my rope and make a drag-sized loop in it.
Are we to do this now? I am still quite weak.
I mean...
Like you said, he's sucking
drinking
down the
it.
juice. He's getting bigger.
Now, we're partway through a long rest right now, aren't we?
You are like like 2 hours shy of a long rest. So if a long rest, I believe the rule is if it's interrupted for an hour or more, then it needs to be redone. But obviously, like, this interrupt is not like, negating the effects that you've gained, like the sleep you've gotten so far.
Does there appear to be more fluid than he could drink in 2 hours? Like, would draining it in 2 hours still help? Or is this like, we need to drain it now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
So around him, this 25 by 20, like, if it was a cube, it is, of course, pentagonal in shape. But it's like, there's about almost like this 5-foot perimeter buffer of fluid, it seems, just judging by its size compared to the very outside of this structure.
Like a fifth of its strength, sort of.
Yeah, something like that. That's a pretty accurate measurement.
Well, we could wait till your buddies get here. I mean, they got to be getting close.
Yeah, you make a good point.
If we're taking a vote, I vote to do it now.
I desperately need the rest.
So do I, but this thing is getting stronger by the minute.
Well, the Triton said that they've dealt with these things at full strength before, right?
Yes,
Yes,
they have.
I think we need Dreg and Fulzerin at full strength for sure.
I agree. Let's give it a little longer and see if the other Tritons show up.
Okay, well, Mia, is she allowed to, stay awake for the last 2 hours of her rest and just look at it? Or no, she has to go to sleep?
Yeah, I think technically, mechanically, you're supposed to get about 6 hours of sleep.
She's gonna toss and turn and keep checking it.
Sure,
Check how
okay.
much it's drinking and be like, I told you so.
Okay.
Hey, did somebody tell you how to use that disc?
Herafina helped me.
Do you gotta throw it, or do you have to have it in your hand?
And do you trust that it is really Herafina?
Oh, I trust it's Herafina. It's definitely Herafina.
We have been lied to and misled so many times.
No, I know in my bones it's Herafina. The Kraken and Kraken, when he talked to me, he wanted me to destroy this disc. Because the power in this disc will be released, and he can come to this plane if I destroy the disc. At least I think. Maybe I misinterpreted.
Well, Erica had it, and Erica was trying to make this happen.
I know. We found it in hands of an evil woman, and an evil man told me to destroy it. It definitely sucks my life force. This is the key we need. I'm the one to do the job, and I need to hit him with it. Whether it's throwing it or not, I'm going to drain my own strength, I believe, to hit him with it myself.
And it has to be you?
Has to be me.
I sort of lean back, close my eyes. Get some rest, Dreg. This is gonna get interesting.
He finally releases Shakara's hands, giving her a polite, thank you for the kind of nod, right? And he kind of sits back down next to Shaft, leaning against the wall of this cave.
I will lay down near him and go back to sleep.
Mechanically, I'm just going to say that I'm using a hit die right now to be back to full strength after touching the disc. Just so you know.
If you get the long rest, you won't need to expend it. So let's go through the last watch and see, right? Otherwise, you're just kind of burning things you don't need to burn. And the third watch passes uneventfully. You see the Pegasi kind of at the mouth of this cave there. They seem to have nestled down themselves, as, any animal, living thing does need their own rest. But they're kind of on their feet, and you see them their hooves are kind of tapping almost restlessly against the stone of the cave. And the fourth watch comes around. I guess that would be last but not least, the wizard, the great wizard of Heraklion.
La cucaracha.
Great wizard of
No,
Heraklion.
Dreg, you need to get some more sleep. Let Fulzerin do it.
Do not look behind the curtain. It's Fulzerin.
The wizard you can't squish, no matter how hard you try.
Fulzerin, you certainly, maybe more so than some of the other party members, do have a lot of stuff you could do. Perhaps some transcription of spells if you wanted to. Is there something you'd like to start or possibly finish, depending on what you have going?
Tell me about other things that I have that I could do again. Just for the listener.
Okay, you could. You did pick up Alamar's spell book. You could transcribe some of spells from that book into yours, of which you have an available spell slot. So anything higher than whatever spell slot you have available, you can't quite put into your book just yet. You could potentially start to create a scroll of one spell that you know. You did pick up a bunch of McLaren's finest from Alamar's secret library, so you certainly have adequate materials to get some way through something you may want to copy and or craft.
Okay.
Is there something specific you'd like to start?
I was being sarcastic and was hoping that you might remind me of something that I'd forgotten about, but that's a good synopsis.
I did detect the sarcasm, but I did want to hear myself speak a little bit more.
Ooh. Truth comes out.
Oh, boy. So I think I'm looking at Dimension Door from Alamar's spellbook. It's a 4th level spell. So I could start work on that.
Okay.
And I don't think there's nothing else I could do that I can think of.
As your watch progresses, an hour or so passes, and you would now, being the last one to really fully witness some of this Kraken activity, As periodically it begins, gulping down some of this phlogiston resuscitant mixture within the structure. And you see the kind of activity around the Tritons, and they stir a bit. And Slava kind of stands up, and he looks over the tiny hut. He can't see anyone in there, but, he's heard some of the conversations that have been going on out, as the four of them have maybe been taking their own kind of shifts as they're getting rest themselves. Again, living creatures need the rest. You see in his hand, he's clutching this small stone. And he stood up and he looks over and he kind of pauses for a brief second. And he just speaks towards the tent. The rest of our forces arrive soon from the east. We must intercept and lead them there. And he kind of bends down and motions to his three companions and is about to, sit down in the cockpit, getting ready to take off.
What would the transit time be to go over to the east and come back?
Round trip would probably be more than the last hour of your watch. Like, for sure. But obviously, it's like he's got to go over there. There obviously needs to be some sort of communication between him and, like, the rest of this fleet. Remember, he said, like, 20 more of these ships are on their way. So it's a substantial force.
Yes, Slava, I think that needs to be done. Travel safe and return as quickly as possible. I suspect that we're running out of time before this beast is out of its cage.
We will be prepared for it. Do not worry. You see him like sit down, and like this dome, right? This clear dome that was kind of open up on a hinge, again similar to like how those shell subs open, is about to close, but then he kind of reaches up and stops it, and he regards the hut again. I did not think I would be saying this, but Karos was correct in putting his faith in you. I'm glad that we met, Falzern. And he closes the lid. This is the ship. You see it's the fins of this manta-shaped ship kind of start to... They don't flap.
Undulate?
What they do.
Beat?
Undulate.
Undulate through the water. And the ship reverses. And remember, this like 40-foot ship almost takes up the entirety of the opening of this cave. It's a very tight fit, but it does come out and disappears below the surface, and you lose sight of it.
The Kraken's size and the amount of phlogiston remaining, what's that looking like at the moment?
Over the hour, it seems to have decreased, I would say probably marginally.
Okay.
Could you roll me a perception check, please?
Sure can. I'm glad I'm getting an opportunity to roll some dice, because I don't expect there'll be many more dice rolls this session. 12.
You notice something strange with the waves. As they wash up on this slanted opening of the cave, or what would be a shore, technically. 2 10-foot sections of the water, it seems to almost lag behind the waves as they recede back into the ocean as this ship takes off and, in its wake kind of thing.
Why'd you have to make that comment about rolling dice?
We all know what's going to happen.
But you do notice it only briefly, and then it seems the waves return to normal.
Okay.
And the rest of your watch goes by uneventfully. You are able to make whatever progress you got done. 2 hours of progress on that Dimension Door inscription, which Dimension Door is not an evocation spell, correct? So you don't get your discount.
I'm pretty sure all of the spells in this spellbook are not evocation.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe 1 or 2. I don't know. Sometimes evocation, they give it a weird.
Right.
They give weird spells evocation just, like, I think to maybe balance some of the list out. But you finally, as Falzarin's watch ends, the 8-hour effect of the tiny hut ends as well. And it disappears. And you all finally benefit from a long rest.
Woo!
But
Just wanna celebrate.
Oh, wait, what? There's a
But as
but.
the-
There's a but.
There's always a but. But as the hut diminishes, another flash of blazing white light from outside of the cave occurs. And again, that boom you hear echoing in the distance, followed a few seconds later by the wake of whatever caused it splashing up into you, now kind of over your ankles and feet into the cave.
I hope they are not firing upon the Tritons.
And that's our show. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're the Incorrigible Par on Twitter, Incorrigible Party on Facebook and Instagram. You can go to incorrigibleparty.com for additional world and NPC information, and check out some of the merchandise there. Be the cool kid at your next game night by donning some Incorrigible Party apparel. Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. Go to criticalhitdesign.com for your design needs. All ambient sounds and music are courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. Our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can contact him for your own musical inquiries via email at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Happy adventuring!